Ayan. Hi, good morning. Good evening. It's morning here in the Philippines.
Hello, how are you, my friend? How's it going?
Is my voice clear?
It's a little bit choppy, but
Okay,
I
so
can
I
hear you
just woke
fine.
up unprepared for this.
You
Okay.
should have seen me
So
what I was
it's a
doing
bit
right now. I
noisy
was
here.
trying. Is it?
Mm. Mm. I actually, with the experience you had a while ago regarding your upload, I experienced that I think a month ago, and I was stressed because it's you fully spent a lot of time in editing and recording or what, but then it's a strike, so it's a strike. So just be careful because I think until for the third time, just three times you three frequencies of copyright strike, I think your a channel can be dissolved, so just be careful.
I know. And that's one of my biggest fears because I recently started and I'm not doing very bad, actually. I thought it's picking up faster than I thought. Um, and I
Yes.
just been here, doing both, like trying to react to certain videos and then working at the same time. So it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Maybe I can
but
share you
nonetheless, it's been
something.
pretty good so
Mm-mm.
far.
Mm. When it comes to reacting video, do not react that it's continuously playing. So for example, if you're going to react on a 30-minute video, so maybe in after 36 seconds, you stop the video and then you're going to give your commentaries and feedbacks and then another 30 seconds. That's the usual that my friends are doing to avoid copyright.
Oh, really?
Yes. So you
Okay.
need to stop and then you say something and then or and at the same time while the video is playing, a bit of words you're going to insert something.
Right. It's yeah, it's been a little bit uncomfortable because I just stay there, like I let the video play completely, and I also have the camera like right there. Also, so I have both. I have the camera software, and then I also have the video software as well, just playing whatever I'm reacting to. So I have to be like pretty fast and pick up the pace. But sometimes I like find myself, with a lot of dead air, and or it's just going too fast for me. It's just my thinking is not there yet, so it's a little bit uncomfortable until I catch up.
Mm-mm.
But that's actually a good trick. I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Yes, it's one of the techniques or strategy that the reactors are doing. So I actually I don't have recorded or edited reaction video. I usually have a live reaction video. For example, if a certain pageant is ongoing, so I'm going to watch the pageant using my phone and I'm going to react and I at the same time in my channel. So I don't have the video directly to my channel, but I can react to what is happening and updating my viewers or subscribers while the pageant is ongoing. So it's a live reaction, no editing.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. I see what
Mm-mm,
you're saying.
mm-mm.
It could be like what that way is a little bit better sometimes as well because you get like the genuine reaction right there and then, as opposed to like
Yes.
recording it.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes
very
things go
raw. Mm-mm.
wrong, your equipment doesn't work, and then you have to make sure that when you're editing, it's not boring, or that you're implementing certain things into the video to keep people engaged into the video.
I
Um,
agree.
yeah.
Mm-mm. Okay, but anyway, so it's mabuhay from the Philippines. So it's morning
Hello.
here and it's evening there. So we're on the opposite sides of the world. So regardless, especially to to my subscribers and to your subscribers, to our viewers, wherever you are, I hope everyone is safe and sound. So you can greet because I know they can watch this later. Maybe some of the subscribers are still asleep.
This is actually my first live. Hello, everybody. My name is
Mm.
Xavi. I live in Massachusetts in the United States of America. It is very cold here. Right now it is 7:22 p.m. Um,
Mm-mm.
and it's extremely cold right now.
Okay, so here it's since I'm living in a tropical country, so it's just wet and dry season. So I don't have any choice, but it's more on since it's tropical, so we've experienced moderate temperature. Although some areas or parts in our country it's quite cold, especially if you're familiar with Baguio City. That's the summer capital in my country.
I was gonna ask, how cold in
Uh,
Fahrenheit does it get there in the Philippines?
I usually in degrees Celsius, so around 15 to 18. That's cold for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the
Um,
average temperature here usually range from 30 28 to 34. That's the usual temperature here.
yeah, I remember growing up in Puerto Rico. Actually, not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, it went down to, I would say, 50
Mm-mm.
degrees in the mountain area. And that's
Ah,
extremely
okay.
cold in Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's 50 degrees
Mm-mm.
Fahrenheit. That's very cold for a tropical area like Puerto Rico to be experiencing such low temperatures. But here,
Mm-mm.
that for us is actually bearable. 50 degrees is actually very comfortable.
Okay, so that is why that is why it will be a big challenge for me if possible I can travel or work in the near future, maybe in America or in Europe. It's a big challenge for me because I'm not used to with those extreme temperature.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-mm. Okay, so let's start from the very basic. How did you when and how did you start pageantry when it comes to your interest? What caught your interest when it comes to pageantry? A little bit of history or background.
Right. I could say my whole life, personally, like voluntarily. I remember the edition of 2006,
Mm-mm.
where Zuleika Rivera actually won. I remember
Yes.
watching it on TV. I was living here in the US, and commercials came up, saying, "Hey, it's gonna be Miss Universe 2006," um, from Los Angeles, I think it was, and
Yes.
it just caught my attention because also I remember from a very young age as well, actually, my family watching the pageant and keeping up with it, and also on the newspapers, magazines. You usually would see that. Also in the city areas, you would see like you know big screens announcing whatever candidate or even the national pageant. So it's something that it's like in the culture.
Ah, okay.
But
So beauty
voluntarily, I
pageant. So beauty pageant is big in your country, Puerto Rico.
yeah, it's definitely it's on the radio, it's on the magazines, on the newspapers, TV, everywhere.
Mm. Okay, so to share mine, actually in the Philippines, it is somewhat same popularity just like boxing. If you know Manny Pacquiao, if there's
Yeah,
a Pacquiao fight, there it is also tantamount to a Filipina beauty queen who is also fighting in the international arena. So that's parang, it's somewhat limit the crime because everyone is watching on the television and the streets is almost empty. So it would probably stop the world or any crimes if there is a boxing match or there is a pageant at stake at the moment. So just like Puerto Ricans, we Filipinos, we are also a diehard pageant fanatics.
for sure. We're also a big boxing community as well. Um,
Mm-mm.
I remember gathering with my family the same way we would for the international pageant. Gathering with the family, friends, and it would be a big thing. I remember in 2001 when Denise Quinones won. Also, Tito Trinidad, which is a boxer. He's now
Yes.
older, so he's already
Mm-mm.
retired. But they both won at the same time, so that was like really big.
Very historical.
Definitely, they made
Mm.
history.
Okay. So, can you specify one experience that you witnessed the actual or the entire event of a Miss Universe pageant? I think you've shared something about this last time that we talked.
Can you repeat the question again? I am so sorry, you broke up a little bit.
Okay. So, the question that I asked a while ago is, can you share your experience if you witnessed a live Miss Universe pageant? I think in Thailand you were there, right?
Well, I've experienced many ones airing live, though I have
Airing
never been
live.
to one personally,
Mm-mm.
which I was trying to go this year, but I'm not going to be able to because there's a lot that I have. You know, I'm going to Florida soon, and I'm going to do a few things
Mm-mm.
as well. So it's like it's very tight for me right now. So I won't be able to. I'm gonna try to make it to New Orleans, but I don't think I would. So,
Mm-mm.
I was very excited for that one, but since it was just recently revealed that it was going to be New Orleans,
Yes.
that caught me off guard a little bit.
Mm-mm.
So I won't be able to make it, but I'm gonna definitely. I always watch live.
Yes, we can do a live reaction since it's gonna be yes. In your channel, if it's possible, I can be your
I,
guest.
I
I will volunteer.
for sure that'd be amazing because I always watch it alone. Here where I live, it's not really a thing.
Mm-mm.
Nobody talks
And
about it.
then
Nobody really cares. If you talk to
if
someone
you're
about it,
if
they're gonna be
you're
like, "What is
if
that?"
you're if the representative of your country, of course you will be cheering, and I will be cheering also for Celeste. So
Of
it's gonna
course,
be a
absolutely.
raw reaction. We will at the same time celebrate whoever queen will win and obtain the title this time.
Of course, of course. Even like the past years, we've only stayed in top 10. Um,
Mm-mm.
but I just, I forget about it. I get frustrated a little bit in the meantime, but it doesn't usually
Mm-mm.
last long. I just keep,
Yes.
um, supporting whoever made top five and top
Yes.
10, and, whoever won is fine with me.
Yes, because that's the real essence of pageantry. It's not just about winning, but to support these delegates in whatever pursuits that they're going to and went through in the future. It's not the crown, it's the journey that matters along the way.
Exactly. I was actually watching a interview from Michelle Colon, which she was a representative for Puerto Rico last year, and she said those exact words. That is not about the winning; it's about the journey. And it's crazy that you say that now.
Exactly. It's very um it's because it's very shallow if you're just going to appreciate a certain pageant based on production. By the way, um in what particular aspect that you appreciate more on the pageant? The quality of the queen, or which particular area or part that you admire the most?
I love me a competition where I know that because these past
In
years,
pageantry.
I want to say like if we go back into history at least like 6 years, um, some girls have made it that probably didn't really to a lot of people belong there, which I don't really want to say that because I don't like to discredit anybody. I'm sure they worked hard to get there and to be there. So obviously they do deserve it. But as opposed to like other girls who stood, in the back clapping, some of these girls were extremely, prepared and ready to compete and potentially win.
Yes,
So for
everyone.
me,
Mm-mm.
yeah, but like some countries are more supportive of, you know, of the competitors versus others that just send, you know, the girl just to represent the country and, you know, for tourism purposes, and that's it. But some of these women do make it into the
Yes. Mm-mm.
semifinals,
Some
and
some girls were trained for
exactly. But these girls who are really tough competitors, some of them they don't make it. So what I do care more about, it's, you know, given the opportunity of, because people are always talking about, oh, it's always the same countries that place over and over and over again. It's, we
Okay,
understand, but
agree.
at the
What
end of
is
the
your
day,
stand regarding um on
but I wanted to say that at the
yes.
end of the day, it's like the national organization that, you know, puts the effort into supporting the
Yes.
girl, and the girl takes the training and go out there and slays. Why can't we just, right?
Yes, it's a collaboration. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So because whether if you have a lot of fans or a very minimal support, I think it doesn't guarantee that you have for example, you have a million followers. It will not guarantee that you will have a sure spot in the semis or you will win the crown. So I think it's more on the quality of the candidate, and of course if the organization prefer this particular candidate because they will be observed based on their profile, based on their behavior while the pageant is ongoing. Of course, it's gonna be shallow if we're just going to base the winner based on the appearance. That's a very shallow reference.
I completely agree with that. And maybe that's why, like, we saw for the first time, I believe it was in 2019, where they let the girls from, you know, the top to give their speech. So
Yes.
people
Mm-mm.
and the judging there can get a feel of who she could be or who she is, you know, to not
I
make
think
it very shallow and just like more
that
about
was
appearance.
During Gazini time. Our representative was Gazini Ganados.
Yeah, I
Mm.
remember her.
Actually, I was disappointed on regarding her journey. There are a lot of things that she did. I think, of course, she was trained properly here, but it wasn't executed polishly when she competed there during their time.
But it's also not fair because I'm not sure what she went through, but we have to think about who came before her and who was
Yes.
before her, the winner. So she probably
Yes.
received a lot of pressure, a lot of backlash. People wanted her to
Mm-mm.
be, you know, that exact person that she probably
Yes.
really
Mm-mm.
isn't.
The prototype. I think you're referring to the prototype.
Yeah. Gazzini's
Mm-mm.
Gazzini, the, you know, Katrina's Katrina.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. That is why it's very hard. It's very hard to wear the Philippine sash actually. The sash
Oh
alone is
yeah.
a great pressure for our delegates. Somewhat it's
Yes,
a
it's
nightmare
not
for them,
easy.
honestly.
Yeah. It depends how you take it, but it could definitely either be positive or negative for your life. But definitely, I don't think being a representative from your country, it's an easy task because it's not.
Based on the record, we've been I think 12 years straight infiltrated and we entered the semi. So it's a big challenge how our delegates continue the winning streak.
I think it's crazy how they managed to do that, but they're just ready. They go there to win. You know, they obviously want to represent their country, and obviously the people love her, whoever the representative is for that year. But they just go there to compete and to win. you know? So as long as you go there to give a good competition, that's what matters because the show has to go on and it has to be a good show. We can't just have. Ooh, I think he got kicked out. Oh my god, I think he got kicked out. Good morning, Jenna Lynn. How's it going? I think he got kicked out.
Okay. Hi there. Okay. I'm so sorry because I think my internet connection is a bit slow a while ago. So we will just continue. What can you say regarding the toxicity when it comes to social media in relation to pageantry? There,
This
in this
is
contemporary
terrible.
time, it has been intensified, right?
I think it's terrible. It's very toxic. It has to stop. Um, but I
Mm-mm.
feel like it's the same in every community because we've seen
Mm-mm.
it. My friend watches a lot of makeup videos, and she usually
Yes.
talks about James Charles, and all these beauty gurus. And they're always fighting, or they putting themselves on blast on social media and talking about each other and hating, and and commenting really bad things about each other and just attacking each other. And I
Yes.
think it's the
So
same
it's
thing here as well. It really has to stop.
mm-mm. So there are, of course, we can give commentaries whether constructive or destructive, but the middle ground, it has not been applied by everyone. So in particular, when it comes to body shaming, do you believe that there should when it comes to body figure and then in relation to pageantry that there should not be a certain standard.
There shouldn't be a certain standard, but there's also, my understanding how I see it, and it's just my
Mm-mm.
opinion. Um,
Okay.
you can be curvy and you could be, curvy's fine, like Sierra,
Or,
that's fine. And I also saw this edition of the Philippines, and there was a curvy girl there. I think was Aklan.
yes. Mm-mm. Aklan. Right.
Very beautiful body. I like curvy women like that. So if I'm gonna see that on stage, I don't mind that. But I also don't want to see a 300-pound woman on stage because that's not healthy. You know.
Yes. I completely agree.
So you don't have to be in like a really like your regimen, like a diet. If it gets like into a certain extent where you're either losing too much weight or getting too much weight, it's
Mm-mm.
not healthy. So
Because in the
we
first
just have to
place,
find a middle ground. Yeah.
health is wealth. So of course you cannot compete if you're sick. Your health is unstable.
Right. So I don't mind women like Aklan, like Sierra Burchill on stage. I don't mind that at all. I actually love that. I love curvy women. I want to see more curvy women on stage for sure.
How about how about the language English? Do you prefer a queen who is spontaneous, eloquent in speaking English in pageantry, or are you open? Are you very much open to support a queen who is not an an English speaker?
I don't think there should be any barriers. I don't think someone has to know English, but at least understand. Um, because you want everybody to have a shot at winning. So if you only want people who speak English on stage, it's not fair for other people who don't. Like countries like Japan, maybe Russia doesn't know, a Russian candidate doesn't know English, or
Yes.
you know, so it's not fair. Um, but I think they should at least have some type of like, I'm sure they all get classes leading to the international competition anyway. So at least have that. I think it's okay.
How about if you witness a Filipina joining Miss Universe, having an interpreter and speaking our national language, which is Filipino, instead of speaking English? What's your stand on that?
I would love for that to happen. I've never seen that from a Filipina woman. I would actually love
Yes.
that. Absolutely.
Mm. Because I see speaking your own language is somewhat you are embracing your own culture, you are presenting your culture, right? But
Exactly.
I have nothing against with a Filipina who is also speaking well in English.
Right. But it's just I don't know what it is, but I think your country, like one of your guys' official languages, it's for me it's English. I believe everybody in your country, almost everyone speak English. I
Yes.
want I want to say. Yeah.
Mm. Usually, those living in Visayas and Mindanao, the provinces, we speak more in English than in Filipino.
Okay.
In rural areas,
How
I
about in the
mean. Mm.
so would that
In
include
Metro
Manila, the
Manila, in
capital
particular,
itself? Okay.
the capital itself more on Filipino or Tagalog.
Okay. Wow.
Mm. Okay, so I think the language should not be a prerequisite one to win a certain pageant, but it's an advantage if you can speak in English. An advantage.
I think if you can understand it is more of an advantage than knowing it or just knowing English. If you can
Yes.
understand what the other person is saying, even if you answer in your language, that's a huge advantage. But then again, you have a barrier as well because now you have to wait for somebody to translate it for you, which it probably
Yes.
wouldn't come out as you probably thought it would.
If you, for example, if you obtain the title or you're announced as the winner, and then you're going to start your reign, it's unusual for a queen that in a daily day-to-day activities you have an interpreter with you, right?
Yeah, so I don't think that's a problem at all. You shouldn't know English to potentially win the title. I don't think you should, but you don't have to
Mm-mm.
because you can have an interpreter, or you can have, there's like many things today that you can have at your disposal that I don't think
Mm-mm.
nothing will stop you from fulfilling a job.
Okay, so jumping from speaking English to advocacy, um, previously, in several decades or years, advocacy is not that the top priority of each candidate. But as we go along, this past few years, advocacy is really highlighted for every queen or candidate. So, what can you say when it comes to advocacy? Would it matter for you to get the title or not?
I if you're doing different, because this is everybody's different. Some people are students and they represent their countries, plus they do different things on the side.
Yes.
They do charity work, or they do work for their communities. but some people don't do that. But that doesn't be a disadvantage to them to also be capable of winning a title. It's
Yes.
something that probably it would be more relevant or push you a little bit further, but I don't think it should be something to consider. Because
Mm-mm.
also as well, like if you look at history too as well, like there's a lot of candidates that are making, you know, their own advocacies, and it's becoming something that they do a lot, but it's not real. They just talk
Yes,
about it.
that
It's
is.
so beautiful. They all do it
Mm,
for the show, but it's not true.
That is why I really commend or appreciate queens that they have already their advocacy before joining the pageant. And once they win,
Exactly.
they're just going to continue with media exposure or not. They are doing it prior to joining. So that's authenticity, I mean.
Right. I like that, but I also like a woman, like perhaps in 2019, Iceland. She was just a regular girl who grew up in a farm and she grew up with a cow.
Mm-mm.
You don't see that on
Yes.
stage a lot. And I think that just gave it, a whole
Yes.
twist.
To the entire what's this, to the entire production value or the superficial one, the because beauty pageant, whether we like it or not, it's subjective. The beauty
Yeah.
is subjective alone, so per se.
And it's also a show. So yes, you have
Yes, it's a
to
show, it's an
compete. Yes, you
entertainment.
have to prepare yourself, but it's also a show. Never forget that it's a show and it's a business.
Mm-mm. That is why pageant fans became toxic. For example, in a certain pageant, I think the Miss Globe, of course we expect or we send a quality candidate. Of course we support through voting and everything. But then she doesn't get the title or win the title. Although she obtained some special awards, but then the pageant fans were not contented on the ano. That is why the organization responded, if the Philippines win, everything is perfect. But if we will not win, there are a lot of there are a lot of negative comments, especially on the social media, or they're going to unsubscribe or unfollow this certain pageant. So it's really hard to balance everything. Of course, we celebrate success, but it's hurting for us to accept defeats.
Right. I have
Mm-mm.
seen that from you guys. I don't want to include you, but I'm saying like I'm there in the comments. I read. I watch
A lot.
videos. All of these things like get suggested to me on social media, either if it's on YouTube, Instagram, and I see a lot of Filipinos, a lot of Thai people just going in. But it's
Even
understandable,
Indonesian
it's
fans.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
But you have to understand that you're not going to win every year and you shouldn't win every year.
Yes.
Why do you want to win
Mm,
every year? That's boring.
mm. That's not that's not the real essence of pageantry, and we have to accept that it's a competition. Only one winner will be crowned.
But also, you guys are also accepting. So if your country doesn't win, you still love the girl who won and still support her
Yes.
and send love to
Mm-mm.
her. So although, there's fights and stuff like that and toxicity, um, I don't know. And at some point, the storm calms and everything is good again.
Mm-mm. Okay, so a bit serious part. When it comes to the ownership of new ownership of Miss Universe, do you think there will be major transformation or changes?
I hope so because we can't keep having the
The
same things
same.
that we were having. The IMG era completely killed everything, I would say. And yes, it was beautiful. It gave a little bit of depth to it, but you can't keep the same format over and over and over again, looking for the same thing over and
Yes.
over again.
Mm-mm.
Um, so I think they faced a lot of decline. So hopefully it picks back up again with this new generation or organization. Um, Hopefully, I'm expecting big changes at least for next year. Not so much this year, but maybe next year.
Yes. From the tagline, confidently beautiful, it has been changed into beautifully confident. What's your understanding or perception towards the shifting of tagline from confidently beautiful to beautifully confident?
That's what actually Paula Shugart wanted at first, but for some reason it didn't happen. And I understood why she wanted it that way.
Okay.
Beautifully confident, you could be 180 pounds, an 180 pound woman, be curvy, or 170 pound woman, be curvy and still be beautiful, still considered to be beautiful, and also be a very thin woman, like perhaps uh Zosie in her years. She was a very thin woman compared to other women like
Yes.
Colombia, Puerto Rico, Philippines had a beautiful body as well. And she wasn't really thin, but if you compared Zosie's body to all these women, she had a very thin profile, but she could also be beautiful.
Mm,
But it doesn't
okay,
really
so
matter as long as you're confident and you carry it well. I think you're good.
yes. Mm. Okay, so do you consider Philippines as a pageant powerhouse?
Are you serious? Yes.
Do you
Big
believe that
competitors.
there's
They
such thing as pageant powerhouse?
No, I that's what people label things to be, but it's just, I think, is
Mm-mm.
more of, support. I see it more as a
Yeah.
support than anything else.
Mm-mm. Because a candidate is not just representing herself; she is representing her country, entire country. So it's a burden on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Mm. If you're aware that certain pageant fans or certain bloggers specified labeled as there is a major and minor pageants, for you, what pageants are, or what particular pageants that you consider a major pageant?
Like what people consider to be a small pageant to be
Mm.
something big, or
Oh.
I only watch Universe. I'm starting to watch now the nationals leading to the international for Universe. And I watch
Mm-mm.
MGI. I don't really
Mm, it's
follow
great.
anything else. A lot of them, I consider them to be their format. I consider them to be boring. Like World, I
Mm.
can't watch World. For me, it's extremely boring.
How about
I
Miss
can't do it.
Earth?
um, I just think like just the quality and just the format. When I
Mm,
watch it, I just get bored.
so you consider the format seriously?
Yeah, yeah, I
Mm.
do.
For me, having a fine a crowning or the finals, maybe they can just compress at least 2 to 2.5 hours. It's very time consuming if you're going to watch a pageant for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. No.
I
2 hours
know.
would be practical, or yeah, 2.5.
Or the Philippines
Mm.
in 2022, the nationals. It was a long edition, but they had
If you
Pia,
watch, yeah,
they had Aries, and they had
and Demi.
Demi. So at least do that, and people will definitely watch.
Because there are a lot of Miss Universe previous winners, so it's somewhat highlighted. Para
Exactly.
the time will be ignored because of the presence of these queens. Yeah. So thank you for supporting Filipino queens. It's somewhat it's a bit it's not the usual one, because if you're a Puerto Rican, you will be supporting your own, right?
Oh, I always do, but I know who, the forces are as well. Thailand is a
Mm-mm.
force.
Yes.
Philippines is a force. Mexico, although they haven't really placed a lot all the time, there's no streak to them. They
South
probably win
Africa,
every 10 years.
India.
Exactly. I consider India to be extremely, capable every year.
Mm-mm. And
And
South
they have
Africa in
conviction.
the
It's just a
recent
matter
years.
of them. Exactly. So, and I also believe that Argentina could be also a powerhouse. There's a lot of beautiful women
Yes.
there, but for some reason they just don't have the they don't have the history, and nobody cares about any of this there.
Mm-mm.
So if I think it's more of your country and what they value, and if they support you or not support you, I think that plays a huge role.
Yes.
And
It can
if you compete internationally from for the Philippines, you would know that your whole country is backing you up.
it will boost
So
the confidence. It will reinforce the
of
candidate to
course,
move farther.
yeah.
When it comes to the integrity of the results, do you think that Miss Universe has a higher compared to other pageants? More credible?
More credible. I don't. It's really hard for me to believe sometimes because obviously it's a brand. They have sponsors. They have to make
Yes.
money. They have to stay in business. So they have to pick someone
Mm-mm.
who they think is going to do good, or for that year
Marketable.
is what they're looking for. Exactly. So it's for me it's 50-50. I believe there's a good cause, but I also believe that it's also a business, and both have to work in conjunction, I think.
Mm-mm. There should be a balance. Mm-mm. Okay, so as a pageant blogger, what challenged you the most?
What challenges me the most is
Yes.
more of fear of having people down in the comments going crazy
Mm,
or attacking me or attacking each other or having zero acceptance whatsoever, or to
mm-mm,
be overlooked,
mm-mm.
that kind of thing.
Because they have the freedom to say something, especially in a certain output that you uploaded. They can say whatever they want to say, but I hope they also consider that we are all human. We have the heart to feel something and absorb. If it's just that, as content creator, we should filter also. We know ourselves better than them. They don't know us
Exactly.
personally, and we don't know them personally, so of course we have different backgrounds. That's a great factor.
I know, and I think it's just a big thing how people from different parts, not just the world, but different parts of your country, support you and just say nice things. Hey, I'm a new subscriber, or hey, I liked what you said, or I agree with your top, or I like how you
Mm-mm.
support the girls, stuff like that. Nice things like that. It's nice to read, and it's nice for people to do that. But some people sometimes are just too rough, but it's to be expected,
Yes.
especially in this community. But I'm ready to take anything.
Okay, is it your personal choice to create your YouTube channel, or someone inspired you to do so?
Yeah, I don't want to say that somebody inspired me, but it's more something of like, liking something so much and not be able to
Because
talk
of your
about it
passion
on a
itself.
on a day-to-day basis. This is not something I talked to the people around me every day. I don't talk about this at all anywhere because I live in
Mm,
Massachusetts and here pageants are it's like living in Canada. You talk to a person about
mm.
Miss Universe, they're not gonna know what Miss Universe is.
OMG.
Here,
So it's a
there's
strange.
not no
It's a
pageant,
strange.
nothing.
It's
Yeah.
strange.
So I need to branch out. I need friends. I need to talk about pageants with friends. I need to talk about this. I love this, and sometimes I catch myself watching the international competitions, and I actually do good in selecting of these women. A lot of these women that I like do make it, or just do not surprise me when they do make it. Um,
Yes.
so I would say that people who like actually like not dared me, but that I said to myself, okay, she's doing it or he's doing it, I can do it too. I love watching The Sovereign. I'm not sure if you know her or watch her.
Yes. I'm a fan.
She's crazy, and I just love her reactions. And I just love how passionate she is, and I love how supportive she is of these girls, and she gives input, and she's a woman herself, so she knows what these girls actually feel. So,
Mm-mm.
but there's like many other channels that I think it's Alvin Sabetero. He's from the
Yes.
Philippines as
Actually,
well.
Sovereign is yeah. Yes, I'm also a fan. Actually, Sovereign is a great supporter of Miss Earth. Mm-mm.
But I just like how he speaks about them. He supports them. He speaks really good things about them. He gives input as well, like what could be fixed, what they should work on. Um, you know, how to polish, basically. Me, I'm not that type of like
Yes.
pageant commentator or anything. I'm more of the competition. Like we're here to compete. You have to fight for the crown. I want to see you girls fight for the crown. I want to see you guys compete. I want you guys slay on stage. You know what I'm saying? That's more of my style, I would say.
Okay. So aside from uploading content or I hope I can see you more when you are going to conduct a live streams because it's very I think it's quite practical and less laborious if you do live streams compared to uploading editing something.
I know. I'm actually like very excited about January 14th. I cannot wait, and I'm gonna
Yes.
watch everything live, and it's just gonna get my genuine reaction. It's something that I
Yes.
have never done that I've always wanted to do, so I'm extremely, extremely excited. And this year is actually very
Mm.
competitive as well, so I cannot wait.
There are a lot of girls. There are a lot of front runners actually this year, so it's very hard to
Oh yeah,
predict rather who will get the Miss Universe 2022 title and crown.
absolutely. I completely agree. I didn't really grasp how tough this year was until I was like on the portal and looking at the official photos,
Yes, there
and they
are
just
86 official candidates, or 86.
and trying to tailor them into 20, 14, 7, and
It's very
potential
hard,
3. I
right?
was like,
It's very hard.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. So I think the format
But
is we have top 20, top 10, top 5, top 3, and then a winner.
I heard, I don't know why I keep reading this on social media, but they're saying a top 20, top 14, top 7, but I'm not sure if that's true.
Mm-mm. So I think whatever format, of course, we are after for who will be crowned instead of the format.
Right. I want to see the show, and hopefully the girls who are the standouts actually get to compete that night, and that everything is just fair and square. Um, because sometimes also they change the whole format and nobody really saw anything coming. And then when you see the final night, you're like, yo, this is way off, So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Okay, so mm-mm, mm-mm. Okay, so when it set of panel, are you in favor of for all women setting there and scoring the candidates, or are you more into a variety of a men or women or an LGBTQIA plus member? So are you in favor for a set all women or a set of judges, or it's a variety? Which is which?
I like variety, so I don't. I mean, I accept it if it's all women, but why not, having people from different ages, different economical status, that they do
Yes.
different kind of jobs,
Mm-mm.
and different genders, men, women,
Mm-mm.
transgender people. It doesn't really matter.
Yes. Mm-mm. So, last serious question. When it comes to inclusivity, what's your perception or stand regarding a trans joining Miss Universe, or a married woman or a pregnant woman joining Miss Universe? Is it completely fine for you, or it is against your principle?
Personally, I don't really have a choice. I think that if you want to do something, if you want to compete, if you want to whatever you want to acquire,
Yes.
I don't think there should be any barriers into you accomplishing anything. So as long as
Mm-mm.
you want to compete and put up a fight and prepare
Mm-mm.
yourself and do things how they should be done, I think you deserve an opportunity. I don't know how you
So,
feel about that, but you could be transgender, you could be, a heavier girl, um, and still be able to do a job.
okay. Actually, it's a big question mark for me, but for as long as the organization allow, I will respect, because the organization will set the guidelines, right? And the
Yeah.
participants will follow what the set guidelines is already approved and submitted to every national directors.
Right. I just wish that doesn't turn into like some kind of a mess. That
Or
on the
mm-mm.
final night or even the prelims, you see, variety is good, and different kinds of people from different backgrounds, and even
Yes.
um if they can't even walk, if they need a wheelchair, I don't want to see that on stage, to be honest. So hopefully that never happens. And I'm not being like, mean or anything, but I think everything deserves its place too. But I don't mind having heavier women or thin women or blonde,
Mm-mm.
short, tall on stage. I don't really care as long as
How about
they
for those?
slay.
How about for those married or pregnant women joining Miss Universe?
Um, I mean, that would be very different. Imagine, that 3 years from now, a girl gets crowned and she's about to give birth, and just
Yes.
all the
And
headlines
how?
are like Miss Universe just gave birth.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I don't know.
It's completely different from the usual queen that is this is just single or having a boyfriend or not married or she's not she's not giving birth in the past. So it's completely a different story that it's gonna change.
Yeah, but also if we open the doors to everything and anything, I believe that this Miss Universe could die. It could be the death of Miss Universe, either the life or the death of the pageant.
It's either.
Yeah, it could go both ways.
Mm-mm. Of course, we don't want or the organization um, don't aim to the negative impact that they might encounter in the future. Of course, they always target and aim for the best or for the betterment of their organization and their brand itself.
Right.
Mm-mm.
I think that maybe, I don't know, train these girls into like some maybe mental health, that to know that even
Mm-mm.
though if you don't win or you don't make the semifinals, to be okay, that doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing anything. You just
Yeah.
wasn't selected. That doesn't mean that the girl who won or the girls who made it are way better than you and more capable. So as long as
Yes.
you're not, comparing yourself, even if you stood in the back clapping for all these girls who made the semifinals, that doesn't mean that you're less than them or that they are superior than you.
Yeah. Or it's the end of the world. It's not that.
It's not that serious. It really isn't.
Mm. Mm. Since it's a competition, so of course it's a matter of winning or losing. And after that, what you will do after winning or what you will do after losing. So just like what happened to Pia and Catriona, they experienced to lose, but what they did is to bounce back, to prepare more or to train more, to recalibrate themselves. So it's the journey actually that matters.
Right. That's very true.
Because if Catriona gave up and didn't prepare herself, and because Catriona before in Miss World, she had a training camp. But when she joined Miss Universe, she's already an independent candidate. She chose her core team personally. So it's a strategy. That is why every queen has their own preference, whether to have a training camp or they're going to have their selective personalities to train them.
Right. And maybe the way she did it, maybe like a lot of countries in Latin America, if you're too choosy, you're not grateful, or you're picking, basically you're trying to just be selective, and the
Mm-mm.
people who you give up, or that they used to work with you and don't work with you anymore, they become your enemies. It's a whole mess.
Yes.
You seen that, and you see that a lot in Venezuela and Colombia, you know but I shouldn't think that they should let all of this like play against them. It's okay to choose the people who you want to work with. If you're working with someone just because they have experience but they don't make you feel good, or you don't
Mm-mm.
feel, like you just don't feel like it's for you, then it's okay to let them go and grab somebody else. So maybe that's something different that she did, that she actually picked the people who she thought it was better for her, because at the end of the day she wanted to win, and but at the same time she wanted to be at peace and work with a team that works with her, not against her or the things that they think that she should do.
Mm-mm. Okay, so as a pageant vlogger, what's your fulfillment? What makes you happy in creating your output?
Um, I have no idea at all. To be honest, I just, all of these pageant videos that I watch sometimes and people who vlog about pageants,
Mm-mm.
the only thing I see that they all have in common is that they don't put humor into their videos. There's no humor at all.
Mm-mm.
And everything is just too serious, too stiff, and too sassy for me. So hopefully I bring humor into my videos and maybe people like that. I've already noticed that some people don't really like it. Um, they feel disrespected or uncomfortable.
Mm-mm.
But
So
maybe
as you
with
go,
time
mm-mm,
they get my sense of humor. Maybe potentially, hopefully they
mm-mm.
do that.
In time. So of course there is timing for that. That is why for me when I started my channel, I question myself if I will conduct my first live stream, how many subscribers or viewers will watch even for a 30-minute or an hour video. So I'm very conscious about it. But as time passed by and then I guested some channels or several channels and they know me already, because I have a mentor, a teacher and a pageant blogger from Thailand and from Japan. So
Well,
they inspired me, they motivated me to keep going. Don't mind the number of views, don't mind the number of subscriber. Just continue with what you're doing because it's our love for pageantry. That is why we created this particular platform.
I think that you talk very well, and I think you're a very smart person, and it's all connected. So you're thinking, and when you talk, it shows, and you're very eloquent. So I think you should keep going because you never know. Maybe next year you'll be interviewing girls directly, as opposed to making videos about
Mm,
certain edition of a pageant. I think you should keep going and not care about the numbers. This is your passion. Just go for it and just do it and don't give up. You're gonna feel like you're not enough sometimes, or that there's people who are, growing faster than you. I don't think none of that really cares. As long as if you're doing your calling, like if you love this, keep doing it. I don't think you should stop.
yes, yes, exactly. So it's an honor. I'm very grateful that we've conducted this interview. I know it's as you told me a while ago that it's your first time
Yeah.
to have this live stream. So of course I'm looking forward in the future that in your channel I can go there as your guest
Yes, I want to have you for the
soon,
final
very
night
soon.
and for the prelims. Um, I'm very grateful to have you as a friend, and
Yes,
and to talk about pageantry, something that we both love. And I'm just
yes.
very grateful that I have a new friend, that I could go and do stuff like this on social media. This is actually my very first live ever. I have never gone live anywhere.
Mm.
So
Okay, actually, I'm a teacher here by profession, but I consider pageantry as an escape. Of course,
right.
it's a vocation. It's a stressful job, honestly. So when it comes to pageantry, somewhat it's a stress reliever for me.
No, for sure. Sometimes I'm like I have found myself like sometimes depressed or mad or whatever, and I just grab my phone and search for. I tell to myself I'm gonna watch Miss Universe,
Mm.
and I'm back again. I completely forget about everything. I see these girls doing great things, on stage, slaying. being
Mm.
themselves, and I just love it. Honestly, I love pageant girls, especially girls who compete in Miss Universe. Like they all of them, they have all of my support.
I completely agree. Okay, so with that, I think it's almost late there. So it's going afternoon here. There, it's going midnight. So I hope all is well. And as last few words, of course, you can promote your channel here. You are very much welcome. And if you
Well,
have
it's my name is right there.
if you have certain people to shout out or greet, please do so. Take your time.
I don't have anybody, but hopefully some woman that's competing at Miss Universe watches this, which
Yes.
I don't know if she will, but if anybody does, any girl does, just know that there's two people here that are watching you and supporting you and just loving you basically, and that she has her full support.
Yeah, so I'm also cheering for Puerto Rico and of course Celeste Cortese for representing the Philippines. I think she traveled last night in going to USA together with her team. I don't know with your representative if she already there in the US, or almost going there.
Yesterday she actually they went live on the local channel in Puerto Rico, and they announced the national costume, which, to be honest, I already saw it
Mm-mm.
coming. I knew it was going to be related to an observatory because she because of what she does, what she studies and everything. I completely forgot what she studies. I think it's engineering, space engineering or something like that.
Yes, space here. Ashley Carino, right?
Yeah. Um,
Mm-mm.
so I'm sure she loves her costume as long as she loves it and she feels herself. A lot of people were talking about it, saying, "Oh, that it looks like a plate, or that it looks
Mm.
like a fan, like a floor fan, or like a bowl." It's what she wanted, is what she thinks that represents Puerto Rico, and I love it, to be honest. But
Actually,
I'm
as of
actually
now,
sorry.
actually as of now, she's one of my top five for now.
Yeah, she's definitely in my top five. Philippines is definitely in my
Yes,
top five.
thank
Um,
you.
I love Thailand, but I'm not
Mm,
sure because her being Thai and the new owner being Thai, maybe that will play against her because people would talk, oh, it's
yes.
there's a type of connection there.
Mm,
Um, but definitely, I have Puerto Rico, Philippines, I have Jamaica. Um, I love Italy this year. Love
Italy.
Italy this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. So there are so many front runners, and it's really hard to choose who among them will make it in the top five. But I also love Venezuela, honestly. Aside
I
from Puerto Rico and the
know.
Philippines. Yes, Venezuela. You watched the video in the
Yes.
Instagram with Venezuela and the Philippines talking?
Yes, I watched it yesterday. They have so much in common. It's crazy.
Yes, when Amanda go to Venezuela from Italy at the age 17, and Celeste from Italy going to the Philippines at the age 17. So they have a lot of similarities actually.
Yeah.
And then the father of Celeste was born in Venezuela, I think.
In Caracas, yeah.
Yeah. So if they will see each other very soon, I think they will become good sisters.
Absolutely. I think they're gonna be best friends if anything.
Mm. But I look forward also to Ashley if they can get along with Celeste. Mm. Because they can Celeste can speak Italian. I think Spanish. the Spanish language and Italian language, they don't have so much differences, I think.
Yeah, there's here in Massachusetts, there's a big Portuguese community, Brazilian community, and Italian community. And I find myself a lot talking in Spanish to Portuguese people, and also Cape Verdean people who speak their own, Creole language. We all talk to each other in our own languages, and we understand each other very well.
Mm,
So I'm sure
mm,
Celeste is not gonna have any issues with any of the Latinas because if she speaks Italian, she could definitely try to speak Spanish. It's almost not. It's not the same language because I don't want to discredit any of the languages, but there's a relationship between both of them. So if Celeste talks to a Latina in Italian and vice versa, I think they're gonna understand each other just well.
Actually, I think it's a bit advantage for her that she speaks Italian. She's fluent in the Italian in that language. So, for her to communicate effectively, especially to the Latina.
Yeah, but also I saw the interview yesterday, Venezuela and
Yeah.
her,
Mm.
and I loved how she didn't have any makeup on. She didn't care. But I think my friend over here got disconnected again. Hopefully he can come back and at least say bye. I'm gonna wait for him a little longer. Well, Brian, I'm gonna wait for about 5 more minutes for you. If you don't come back, I'm gonna end this or I'm gonna kick myself out. Hello, hello, hello. I think he completely vanished. Well, I don't think Brian is here. So I think I'm just gonna end it here. I hope everybody who watch or who watched has a good night and a good day. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys follow his channel or subscribe to his channel. Um, and my name is Xavi Matashi. You can also subscribe to me there. But I'm just gonna end it here because he ain't nowhere to be seen. Bye, everyone.
And so that ends my interview with our special guest, Savvy or Savvy Matashi. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. Sorry for the disconnection. I think twice or thrice that I've been disconnected. But I'm going to message you later via Instagram. Thank you to Madam Jenny and for those who can watch this because it's gonna be uploaded or automatically recorded in my channel. Thank you to Joey as well for the encouragement and constant support. A shout and all shout out and thank yous for those all people or viewers or subscribers that going to watch this particular pageantry talk. Maraming salamat sa inyong suporta. Thank you everyone and I'll see you soon. Paalam everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you sa support.